Welcome to Straight Outta Jersey. Today's podcast is brought to you by Ace Sunglasses. Go to Ace Sunglasses. Powered by the Zapata brand studio. Straight Outta Jersey with Jersey Jay-Z and the freak of New York, Greg Valentino.
What's up, guy? We are live Thursday night with my man Greg Valentino. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Joey?
Good, good. We got a special guest coming on tonight. He's one of my oldest friends. Know him about 25, 30 years. He's going to talk about his nutrition company, the gym he works at. He's in a band, and he's actually doing really well. Centruy Road's the band. And he also did a podcast with King Kamali called the Iron OG.
Oh,
so
shit.
I'm gonna bring him on, my boy, Dave Calleri. What's up, Dave?
Hey.
What's happening, guys?
What's going
How
on,
you
man?
doing?
Good, man. Good.
Long time, brother.
Well, I like that. I feel I look the same, and you definitely look the same.
Oh, really?
Greg looks the same from all the magazine pics I used to see of him. So
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Thank
Me
you.
and Dave
we're all
used to train.
hermetically sealed, frozen in time. I can deal with that.
That's right. And Joe's got some Italian blood in him. Okay, so he's half. That's the good half, you know.
Well, I think you're half Spanish, right, and half Italian. I mean, what are you? I forgot your nationality.
Fuck you, Dave, not me. I'm getting.
Oh yeah, I was actually I'm adopted. My
Yep.
father's Italian, but I was born in Chile.
Oh, okay.
Were you really?
Yeah.
So you're like Snooki.
What's this guy knows?
Snooki,
I would always be like, oh God, why is she ruining our names like that? But yes.
Now I actually know Snooki, and she's a really good girl. She's nothing like, Joe. I know her. She's nothing like the girl that you see on TV. She doesn't fall down and get drunk and is crazy. She's a little bots in the head, and she's very small. I'm 5'6", so when I was kissing her and shit, fucking around, kissing her, playing around, because she was dating my friend. But I had my leg, I was bent like this, and I was kissing her. I don't even think she's 4'11". She's like 4'10". I mean, she's tiny. You know what I'm saying? But she's good. She's good.
Well, me and Dave used to go back working out at Gold's Gym together,
Gold's
Ramsey,
Gym.
New Jersey. Remember those days, Dave?
The crew is you, me, Andrew,
Yep.
Murph,
Tony Murphy, Scott
Petrelli.
Yeah, Scott Murphy, Petrelli. Yeah, we used to work out, and that's when we were starting getting big and doing all that stuff. Now, Dave, you took off with the career. What did you start doing now? Because you're in a lot of things right now.
Yeah, I think I met you like '99 through my
Yeah, it was a
neighbor.
little bit earlier. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe
Dave-
around there. Yeah, I was dating Paula.
And
Dating
then we hooked up at Gold's Gym, and then I ended up managing the New York sports clubs up in Nanuet, Rockland County. So my schedule just got all kind of whacked out. So it didn't make sense to go down to Gold's when I had to be up in Nanuet. And actually, in like '04, that's when I met King, when King Kamali moved to Rockland from, I guess, Virginia. So I kind of jumped bodybuilding circles just like that.
Yes. Yeah, you started working out there, and then you went into training, right?
Did you ever go to Bob's Gym, Strong and Shapely? Did you guys ever go there together, Joe?
Not with Dave. I never went with. Did you ever go there, Dave?
No, the only places I've really been to that are of note, just some stuff that happened to be up in Rockland. I never went to Strong and Shapely. Always was like supposed to go, and then maybe 10 years ago, I was helping Guy Del Corso expedite a bunch of NPC shows because I worked with Guy at the gym in Montvale, and we were supposed to go do some stuff at like Weinberger's place, but I never made it out to Long Island.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
Weinberg's place is big.
Yeah, Weinberger's. Yeah, because I was going to go a couple times to Powerhouse Gym.
It's close. Those guys, him and Bob, both, the Mecca. They used to go Bob's Gym, the Mecca first, and then, Weinberg. But they're both awesome gyms, and they're both monster gyms. You know what I mean? Like, you go in there, and you're like, okay, let's, where do I even begin? There's so much equipment,
Yeah, and Dave was playing guitar the whole time because we both played guitar. We both like comics. We both were working out. But you were a tremendous guitar player back in the day. So even now,
back in 2000, I think it was 2007 or 8, King Kamali put on King Kamali Classic in Tarrytown Music Hall. right? Over in Westchester.
I've been in those shows, yeah.
Yeah, and so he's friends with Batista, Dave Batista, because I guess they went to high school together in Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And so he was emceeing the show with Chickarillo.
Bob Chickarillo.
So I ended up introducing Batista to his Saliva theme song he had for WWE, because back then he was just a wrestler. He wasn't Drax or anything at that point. So I introduced him with I played the Saliva theme song, and then I played Eye of the Tiger for when Chickarillo came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Bob was fun, and Batista was so.
Yeah. Yeah. Greg, you get along with Bob?
With who? Bob Chickarillo?
Yeah, did you get along with him?
No. Bob Chickarillo and I, we're good. We're good. We're really good.
Problem with Dave Palumbo.
Yeah, me and him had a little tiff years, like 20-something years ago. But we're good. We're really good, me and Bob Chickarillo. There's no problems. We get along very, very well. You know,
Dave,
I get along well with Kamali, too.
Yeah, and that's how you and King got close, right, Dave?
Yeah. We were training partners from like 2006 to like 2009. Helped him get ready for. We did a run of shows at the Arnold Classic, and then I think what was it, like the Toronto Pro and Montreal Pro, and then he just kind of took a break after that.
Oh wow. Did you guys then decide to do the podcast later together?
Yeah, he brought it up to me because I guess, he does all his online training. He's got a ton of King's Army, so it seems like he's got a ton of people. And then he just wanted to get, he was doing stuff with Generation Iron, and I think he had a small falling out with one of the guys he was involved with Generation Iron, and then he kind of wanted to get back into his own thing because he would notice that all the stuff that he was involved in, his name brought in the views, brought in the people. I think he had been on Palumbo's show a couple times.
Yes.
Muscle RX. I know he did a couple of guest things with Lee. So he's still a name. He still attracts the attention. So then he just kind of was like, well, let me start doing some of this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But then he didn't know how to do all the techie stuff, so that's when he called me in.
Yeah, we're not good at that stuff. And then you guys did the podcast.
I suck too at that shit.
Yeah, you just need, even if you got 5 guys, you just need one guy who knows what they're doing, and that's it. It's fine.
John Mancini, what's going on? Yeah, it's so now do you do the podcast right now, Kamali, or is that you? Is that
so? We were doing that for a while, and I think I had a different podcast that was called 40 and Fit that I did with a couple other friends. It was doing very well,
right?
And I think that I just don't think he understood how difficult it is. Like you guys know, you do this every week. How difficult it is to always make sure that you have a subject you're talking about if you don't have a guest on. Mm-hmm. And just the amount you got to edit, you got to upload, you got to manage the socials. It's a lot of stuff. And I was doing a lot of it, and I only have so much time to do stuff because I got all my other things happening too.
Right.
And then we didn't do it for a little while, and then he started doing his own YouTube channel. So yes. I think he's got maybe 5 or 6 videos out, and I ended up editing all those for him. And then. I know he's still down in I think he's in Virginia, kind of comes back and forth to see the kids up here and his family down in Virginia. So we haven't done anything probably for the last 5 or 6 months probably.
Did he open up a club?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. He wanted to years ago up here in Rockland. He was looking at a couple of places to open up a gym, but he never did.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, He's funny. I used to have a pisser with him. He's a good guy, Kamali.
Yeah.
He's funny. He hooked me up with a tranny in a fucking club. Did he ever tell you that story?
No, and I texted him the other day. I said I was going to be on with you guys tonight. He's like, "Oh, nice. It should be fun." So sometimes he'll hit me up with some crazy stories, but he hasn't. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got some good stories. Yeah, me and him together. We had a lot of fun. We used to go out there, me, him, Bob Bonham, and it's funny because. Without naming a lot of names, because then it's trouble. But you would see a lot of the Olympia lineup, man. They'd be in there and they'd be fucking like this and shit, because you figure all bodybuilders are, they're healthy. We sitting around eating just chicken and broccoli all day, but they're fucking dropping ecstasy and fucking hey hole, and they're all lit and like this on the couch, Then a couple of weeks later, you see them in a show. They're gonna stand around So
Yeah,
we used to have a good time though. It was
Yeah,
fun.
Jay-Z and I had a couple run-ins.
So come on, but is Kamali not? He's not with Barbara anymore. Wait, somebody froze. Joe, am I the only one here?
They got divorced.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
They got divorced years ago. Like at least
Okay.
at this point, maybe 15 years ago. 15
Oh
years.
shit.
It's been a while. Yeah. It's been
Yeah,
a long
because
time.
I remember when it was just boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
That's funny. Oh my god, I didn't know that. I get along good with King. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's good. He's funky. I like funky people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a good guy. I met him like once or twice at the Sound Factory, and I know you always hung out with him, so I knew. But you guys were training too, bro. You were doing the training in RPM nutrition. How'd that start?
Yeah, so I've actually been training clients since '99. I was first hired at New York Sports, and then like 2017, I was just kind of looking around the floor, and I was really just like, I'm really lucky that I get to do this for a living and like actually have a living doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, at any moment, you know, you could get a client who's like, I'm sick, I can't afford it anymore, like whatever. So I kind of said, well, what can I do to bring my clients more value? And at the time, we didn't have any nutrition programming at my facility, so I started doing it. And then kind of by proxy, I ended up started doing a meal prep service as well. So I had that for a couple of years. Actually, right up until COVID, we shut down the kitchen in COVID because we didn't know what was going to happen. But you know, I took it independent for a little while, and then after right before COVID, I went back to my main gym I'm at now. And I was like, hey, bring me back. I'll bring all my clients back, but you let me run my nutrition company out of here. And I was like the first guy to come back and bring my brand in to like a private health club like that. So everything since then has been really, really good.
Yeah, and you're the director of staff of in the gym in Englewood, correct?
Yeah. So we didn't have any management or anything for a while, and then we just put about $4 million into the building to renovate it. Brand new equipment. We changed upstairs is now rented out by business called Strand Salon Studios. So there's like med spas, estheticians, barbers, all kinds of stuff upstairs. I went to ownership and was like, hey, if we want to start doing better business, this is how I think we should be approaching our young trainers and hiring our new trainers. And ownership had a little meeting, brought me in for 2 meetings, and then they're like, great, you're going to do it, essentially. So now I'm just kind of overseeing the hiring, the education, and just like the mentorship of all the younger training staff.
And this is in Englewood, New Jersey.
Yeah, we're right off Route 4 as you're going into NYC.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly. Now let me ask you a question. You're still playing guitar, right? We were kind of talking about this off.
Every day.
Yes. You know what's funny? I told Joe this when Joe was over my house. Do you know that I took guitar lessons from literally, my mother made me take it because, you know, I was nuts when I was a kid. So I took guitar lessons from literally like 6 years old to maybe 13, 14. And I had the greatest guitar teacher, the whole bit. And I suck so bad at playing guitar. I don't remember any of it. If you give me a guitar now, I could play like 3 strings and that's it. I can't do shit. My son never took a lesson in his life, was the lead guitarist of the band, wrote a song and shit, plays weddings and stuff, does solos. I can't do shit.
Well, it's a good thing you saved all that talent for him then. You're a good dad.
My daughter's playing the tuba. You know, Joe knows. She played the tuba, the flute, the fucking guitar, the keyboard. My daughter could play any of that shit. Me, I can't even play the radio. You know what I mean? And I took fucking lessons. So my mother wasted all that fucking money, and I had no choice. She used to tell me, get in the goddamn room and go practice. You got a half hour, get in there. I'm paying for them guitar lessons. I was like, but I don't want to play. You know, like she felt like it would add like a new dimension to me, you know, because I was like, I couldn't concentrate on shit. You know, I was constantly all over the place, even as a kid. So.
Yeah. Now, Dave, how did you get the
I
band?
respect guitar players, though. I love guitar players.
How'd you get the band created that you're in, Century Road?
I just, like I said, I just got back into playing and recording during COVID. And then I just started writing songs again. And then once this guy the vocalist name is Mark, and he was doing like meditation and yoga and stuff at the gym, but also he'd been playing music his whole life. And then he saw like my post on Facebook, and then he asked me he's like, hey, are you working on anything? I didn't know you played music. So I just sent him some real rough recordings of some acoustic stuff I had. And then I sent it to him. He sent it back finished. He had lyrics and harmonies and melodies and everything.
Wow.
And then I just started kind of sending him more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. Then I was like, you know what? I can afford to go in the studio. So a friend of his who they grew up with has a beautiful studio in Tenafly called A&S Studios. So we just started going in there, and I really just liked working with Anthony. He's got a great ear. He's very good at what he does, and he works fast. So like tomorrow, we're going in tomorrow. We'll probably be in there for like 3 or 4 hours, and we'll have the next song will be done.
Yeah, how many albums you got? You got a couple songs and how many?
We have one actual album we released at once. So it's 11 tracks. It's 10 original tunes, 1 cover, and then ever since then we've just been releasing singles. So I think tomorrow will be our 15th single. So like I said, I think this is like 25 songs we have out now.
Do you have any on your Instagram or YouTube that like we could check it out and stuff? Or
yeah, you just type in Century Road Band. There's a YouTube channel up there. The Instagram is
I'm gonna put it in the description and the.
It's all
you play like metal? Is it mostly metal? Is it country? Is it what kind of music would you say? Just pure rock?
It's definitely a mix between like hard rock and there's definitely some metal tendencies in there. But Mark's is just straight up singer. He can do some of the harsh screaming stuff, but it's so sparse in there. But it's pretty much just like rock and hard rock. Sometimes some like pop punk stuff in there because I just write whatever comes out. So if I'm like I want to write a heavy song, I grab the heavy guitar and I start writing a heavy song.
Mm-hmm. There's a girl in your band too, right?
Ben Garcia. Some fans of that. Yes.
So that's those are the people we play live with. So when we play live, we do a lot of acoustic. The live stuff is like acoustic covers.
Okay.
So it's myself, Mark, another guitar player, and Hannah's the other vocalist. So that picture is us before we went on to play one of our live gigs. So that's the 4 of us. So the original stuff is just Mark and I.
Okay.
I do all the guitars, bass, drums, and Mark does all the vocals.
And where are you going to be playing next? Like I know you played at a bunch of places. Grant Street Cafe. You were playing all over New Jersey.
Yeah. So the next one we have is Tommy Fox's
in Bergenfield.
September 6th, I think is a Friday.
Yes, you'll be in Bergenfield, right?
I got to brush up because I forget almost everything. We haven't played it as a group in maybe like 2 months because the other guitar players, his other band they're booked solid all summer. So it's fine. Gives me a break.
Wow,
I love it.
That's really great, man. That's awesome, man.
I love it. I respect guitar playing, man, because my fat ass fingers, I couldn't do barcodes. I was horrible. I was the worst.
You have ADD, Greg. That's why you can't concentrate on shit.
I'm all over the place.
That's why he's got the sunglasses on, so he's like the lights don't.
Joe's in my house. You know the motherfucker. They put when I'm speaking of ADD, I got to change the subject real fast. I'm doing when I do lats, right? I look up in the air, I look up at the bar, right? And they moved the machine, so now it's under a light, this big friggin' light. And I got to stand there, and I got to do it one eye closed like this because the light blinds my eye. And I'm like, now I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, am I going to bring sunglasses in and do sunglasses like this just to do a set of lats and then take them off and then put it back on to do another set? That's because the sunglasses, my eyeballs. But
he's got to give it to Popeye.
Getting back to guitar playing, my fingers were too fat, and I can't focus on shit. Like if I'm not, like my mother pushed me into that because her father played the banjo and Italian guy playing the banjo, playing guitar, all self-taught shit, and I can't even play the radio. You know what I mean? It's like really bad.
Me and
I
Dave
always wanted to play, so it was easy to I'd come home from school, grab my guitar, and sit in my room for hours.
Yeah.
Did you take lessons, or are you like self-taught?
The guitar I'm self-taught, but I started playing saxophone in elementary school in 4th grade. So up for like a few years, I had some formal training. So I had an ear. I knew how to play an instrument. I could read music, and then it just made the guitar a lot easier, I think. I
agree with that. I think it's like art. You either have it in you or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like you could. I took so many lessons again every week for fucking how many years, and I still can't do a goddamn thing on a guitar. Meanwhile, somebody else picks up. My son picked it up. My daughter picked it up. I think they got that from, again, my mother's side of the family. But it's just like art or building. Me and my girlfriend's handy. She'll come up there and change the fucking like change the light fixture and everything like that. I can't even. I can't paint the wall. I would just like throw paint on the wall and just quickly try to roll it. I have no patience.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dave, which one do you like out of all? I mean, you do have the band, you got the nutrition, the gym. Which one is your favorite? I mean, I know you like them all, but which one would you say this is going to be my career if you had to? Band or?
No, probably the training. The band is just a really great creative outlet. Like when I was doing some work with my friend Andrew, who's has his own marketing business and was doing the marketing for the gym. I remember we were going over stuff. He's like, what's the salary? What's the salary that would get you to stop playing music? I was like, there is none. I don't care what the number is. I'm like, no amount of money would get me to stop doing that, because it's just a creative outlet to have an idea, twiddle my fingers, put it in the computer, and then we get a fucking song out of it. But I like the idea of doing it because I love it. It's a creative release. I like hearing what Mark does to it. Mark's lyrics are great. But I don't think I'd want to turn it into a thing where it's like, all right, we gotta make the next, couple $1,000. Let's write a new song. Like I just don't like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were talented in every aspect of everything, even with the gym. I thought you were going to, compete one time, but I never did, huh? Did you think about it?
I did 1.5 shows.
What happened?
So I did my first show. I did a natural show back in 2005.
Yep.
And then I started getting ready for a second one. But I was in the midst of like, am I staying at the gym? Was I staying in management? Like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I remember as I was getting ready for the first show, nobody asked me, like, hey, what do you think you want to do in the next 2 to 5 years? So I was like, well, if I'm doing another show, then I don't have to make the hard decisions. I don't want to make it like 27 years old. Mm-hmm. So I just started doing another show. And then the night before the show, I was like, I don't have a routine. I'm like, I didn't do my protein. Like, I didn't do anything. Because I was just using it as a Band-Aid to like not make some decisions in my life. So I called King and I was like, hey man, listen, I don't think I'm gonna do the show tomorrow. He's like, what? He's like, you're ready. And I was also like 30-40% better than I was for the first show. Like my rebound after the first one was great. I dieted better. I looked great. And he's like, do you want to take like a Lasix? You want like to pull some water? I was like, no, man, I don't want to do any of that. I'm just gonna let me chill out for the weekend. And then on Monday, we started shooting his second DVD. So I'm like, don't worry, I'm not going to get fat over the weekend. I'll show up in shape. So when we start shooting the next DVD, and then I did an audio engineering program, and kind of just made some decisions and started like doing more things with my life. Yeah. So that's why it was 1.5. I took it all the way to the night before. I was like, nah.
Yeah. That's fine. I don't think you have to compete in bodybuilding anymore. You know what I mean? I competed and collected trophies, but that's about it. You know what I mean? And
I mean, listen, it's a different animal now.
Forget.
I don't disparage anybody who wants to compete. I got, I brought somebody into his natural show a couple weeks ago, and it was cool to kind of get my feet wet again, kind of get in the game a little bit. One of my coworkers, he has his pro card in men's physique that he got years ago, and he calls himself retired, but we're kind of trying to get him back on stage, but get him into like classic bodybuilding, and he's got a really great shape, and he's doing really well. So, my feet are still, I'm straddling the line a little bit, but it's definitely not the same than when
you know what the problem is with this sport though is a lot of guys only train. They take steroids from the minute they start training. Then they fucking compete. They're obsessed with competing. Go all the way, and then eventually, when they stop competing, they stop training, and that's why some guys look like shit. To me, it's a lifestyle. I'll do it till I'm 100 years old if I live to be 100 years old. Till they plant me, in a box, I'm gonna be doing it because it's a lifestyle. I don't ever want to look like shit. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys though, when they stop competing, like I just saw, I love Lee Haney's a great guy, been in my house, blah blah. But I just saw a video of him, and he's talking, and he, I thought I saw like tits and shit, like what's his name, Tom Platz and stuff, and I'm like, dude, come on, you gotta. I know you're not going for the Olympic anymore, but train, do something, get rid of that. Like, I couldn't live with myself like that. You know what I mean? just to me, it's an all or nothing thing. You know what I mean? And I gotta go all the way with it. You know.
Well, look at Ronnie, right? Like, we've all seen Ronnie.
Yeah,
Ronnie,
that was the first time.
Ronnie's amazing though.
And even though Ronnie's
Amazing.
beat up, he still trains every day.
He's in a wheelchair. That guy's in the hospital. Give me a dumbbell. You know, he'd be laying in a fucking bed like this, curling a dumbbell. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But a lot of these other guys, they retire. Well, I'm retired. I did my thing. But you let yourself get tits and you look like shit. You know what I mean?
Well, even look at back in the day, right? Like that was the news. Levroni would train for 4 or 5 months out of the year, do the show, come off everything, and not train until it was time to do the next one. But not everyone's Kevin Levroni.
Yeah, Levroni though, I'm good friends with Kevin. He's a super hyper responder. You know what I mean? Like him and I have talked. After 2 weeks of just doing anything Babanya wise, he's already responding, and you know he loves the sport too. You know, so I think there are some guys who go off, but they don't like stop training or anything. I'm talking about some guys, they never go back to the gym, and you're like, if you saw them walking on the street, you're like, that guy was a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? Like that guy right there. You never know. I could never let myself look like that. Never.
Well, Lee's a good example too. Lee still looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, Lee looks great.
Great. Yeah, he does look great.
Lee looks phenomenal. You know, I love Lee. That's my boy. You know.
You know,
but,
Greg, we were talking how easy it is today to get your pro card, though. Like back
Hey.
when doing it, you know, Dave and we were learning. You know, it's hard to get a pro card.
Back
Today,
in the day, like 3 pro cards went out a year,
That's
maybe.
it.
If that?
you had to win your class in the nationals.
Yeah.
Win the overall in the USA. The overall, not your class. The overall in the USA or the overall in the North American. If you didn't win that, you weren't a pro. So you had to. Now today, you got guys that place in second in their class getting fucking pro cards. And they're creating all these other masters, you know, 40-year-old. You are not, if you're 40, you're not a masters. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I mean? If I was to compete, I'd be a master, but I would never compete in the masters. I would only compete in the open, but that's not happening. I don't want to do that shit. But I'm 64 years old. Yeah, I don't consider like 40 years old as being like, well, he's a master. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. They got to change that.
I think some of the organizations started as early as 35.
That's insane, though.
Yeah, they're called like the over 35 and then maybe 40 and over.
They're doing that just so that they make they're doing that so that they like try to create more money coming in, like more categories, more money. Let's make everybody a pro. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. Look, if Dave Palumbo, just when we were doing a show the other day, we were talking to Armand. I didn't notice, but they're like, Armand's competing in a show that there's like lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. That's it. And I'm like, what? And Dave goes, oh, yeah, there's a lot of shows right now where bodybuilders aren't going into bodybuilding anymore. They're all going into men's classic physique. So I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just wrong. It's just wrong, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're, they've destroyed the sport. Look what they did with female bodybuilding. They stopped all that stuff. They were doing away with female bodybuilding, and now everybody's, physique, this, that, the other thing. It's just, I don't know. It's just a money grab. The sport's going the wrong way. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think I can listen. I know it's a business. I can appreciate people want to make money. It's cool to open it up to a broader audience, but at some point you have to keep the integrity of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it starts to waver. When it's like, who are these guys coming up here? And then like everyone, like my mom's coming up. She got her pro card today because she looked. It's like what's going on?
Oh yeah, man. There's a lot of that. There's people who train 2 years and they're already pros.
Yeah.
Dave talked about that the other day. He was saying there's guys that he come into the gym. He puts them on a program because they want to compete their first time. Yeah, I'm going to compete in the show, and then after that, I want to get my pro card. And he's like, holy shit, like slow it down.
Yeah, I see it all the time on social. There's like 17, 18-year-old kids, and in their bio, it's like road to pro.
It's not a long road anymore. Now it's easy. I mean, a lot of guys that didn't get their pro cards, Dean Caputo, Rory Liedlmeyer, all these other guys who could have been, Matt Mendenhall, like from back in the day. Those guys would have been pros easily.
Well, even looking at like I had Vinny Galanti on our podcast a couple of years ago. Vinny's a nice guy. How long did it take him to get his pro card? Like 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I love Vinny, but again, these are guys who he went through the Masters. I still think if you're a Masters pro, you compete in Masters shows. It doesn't, they're opening doors now for everybody. I just feel like it's out of control. The sport's like, it's so watered down now. There's so many categories. There's 20 Mr. Olympias. Well, I'm physique Mr. Olympia. I'm classic physique Mr. Olympia. I'm fucking, board shorts Mr. Whatever. It's like I don't know who else who anymore.
Yeah, totally different now.
I think a lot of guys get into it because they're like, anybody can get a small supplement contract, a clothing contract. I think a lot of these guys just try to get the small contract. So it's like, I don't really have to work a job for a while. I can get free food, free clothes, free subs, maybe get a small paycheck here and there. And that's what they do it for.
But you don't need to do that though. You don't need to do it. Sam Salik should never compete. Never compete. He doesn't have to compete. He's already got it so that he goes like this, and somebody's going to buy that, and he's got it made. He doesn't have to compete. As a matter of fact, if you compete and you lose, you go from this guy that's supposed to be so awesome on the internet to down here. So you're better off being the guy that doesn't do it. You know what I mean? That's why, like, when Dave always tells Lee, go back, you should go back again, and this and that, I tell Lee, don't do it. Don't do it. You're already Lee Priest. You're already a god in the sport. You're already up there as the greatest, you know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, the greatest short bodybuilder ever. Why would you want to do that? Suppose you go in and you lose, and you're not, you haven't competed in how many years, and you get these young guys, it kills your, you know what I mean? It's like when Tyson was washed up after going to jail, and his mind was so shot, and he couldn't even fight him. He was losing to bums, you know what I mean? Guys who he would have wiped the floor up with,
Does Lee prep anybody? Does he work with anybody or no?
No.
No.
He doesn't.
Not really. You know what it is? Those that can do, those that can't teach. What I mean is that, like, he's such a legend. He's still wanted by everybody, in the sport, on their channels to do interviews because he's got a personality and, he knows his shit. And but I think that, I think it's too much on him to want to, like, when you got to compete, you got to also have people. The best teachers are guys who sit there and listen, not somebody who just gives you here, take this, go follow this, and and there's a lot of that out there. You know what I mean?
Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right.
There's a lot.
Who did you grow up liking? I think probably Ronnie and Dorian, as we used to always say those, right? Those guys were always
Ronnie, Dorian, Dexter. I met Dexter a few times because he's close with King. Jay. Jay had a. Listen, I don't know if you will get a better showdown than we had with Jay and Ronnie for like the second half of the 2010s, right?
You're absolutely right.
Anything like that again.
Nope.
And I kind of lost interest when Ronnie and Jay kind of hung it up. Like Phil Heath was fine, but I just, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. I don't really know.
I mean, those guys also, their personality. If you ever been around Ronnie has like he's got like dry humor. You know what I mean? Even Lee Haney used to tell me that's better than duck butter soup, and I'm like, well, what the fuck is duck butter soup? What? Less said, best said. You know what I mean? Less said, best said. You know what I mean? One without the other's like the duck without the butter, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Because I'm not from the South. I'm a kitty from New York. You gotta speak a little bit different. But those guys had personality too. Today, none of these guys have personality. You going for sure? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the Olympia next year.
Yeah, it was pretty good though.
It's just
take a little weight.
What's
lightweight?
Lightweight, baby. Ain't nothing but a peanut.
Yeah. The first time I met Ronnie, I was with you, Dave. Remember?
Yeah, we were at the
Hackensack show.
Bergen Tech.
Bergen Tech. Yes.
Met him in the bathroom.
In the bathroom. Yes.
Yeah.
You met Ronnie in the bathroom?
Yeah, we were at an NPC show, and he was there. I don't know if he was guest posing. He was just there signing autographs. But we had to go to the bathroom, and then as we were walking in, he was walking out.
Yeah, I remember he had turned sideways to come out of the stall.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. We would go to dinner. I'd go out to dinner with him, and he'd be eating like he'll eat spaghetti, and then he'll have rice, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, didn't have enough of that kind of stuff. But I mean, we would go to I would go to Carlo Filippone's down in Jersey. Remember Carlo had that place by Fort Lee? And I used to go down there. I forgot what the hell the name of the place was, but we used to go to Carlos, and we go down there, and he would just be pounding down the food, because that's when he was dating Alti. Remember Alti Batista? Remember when he was dating Alti?
Yeah, I do.
Married? Yeah. So because I'm good friends with Alti, so we used to go down there. I was with Ronnie all the time there, and he's a pisser. He's a good man. He could talk about anything. He's like the most innocent guy. You know what I mean? He's like a giant baby Huey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a really good man.
Well, I remember watching his the movie they did on him, or the documentary on Apple or whatever, and it was really good. It was really good. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I think it's
guys like that.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
You need more guys like Ronnie Coleman today to represent the sport. Because when you see a guy in a fucking wheelchair and he can't even walk and he's over there trying to swing dumbbells, but it's for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? He knows he's not going to be Mr. Olympia anymore, but it's for the love of the game. You know, and that's what I like about Ronnie and his personality. Like I said, his personality. He's always happy. I've never seen him grumpy. You know, I've been with him a million times. Never grumpy. Jay Cutler too is. Jay's humor's a little drier, but good guy. Never grumpy. Never fucking nasty. You know.
And they're still active. They're still active. They're still doing stuff.
With Jay for years. I used to make jokes because we'd leave. Remember, I think I told you we left one time. We were leaving dinner, and I go to Joe Pietro. Look at Jay's ass, because he was so big. His fucking his legs were so big that ass was like this. And Joe's like, "What are you doing looking at his ass?" And I say, "You can't help it. Look at the fucking thing. It's huge. You know what I mean? But like a gazelle, like a horse. You know."
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But the '90s were the time. I think the '90s and the.
Oh, I love the '90s.
Era for bodybuilding and stuff, because today I don't watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's funny. If you took an old '90s magazine, you took the Olympia lineup, and you cut off all their heads, and you just saw their bodies, you could say, "Oh, there's Kevin Levrone." You know what I mean? There's Vince Taylor. That's Sean Ray. That's Lee Priest. That's this one. You knew everybody's body. Today, every one of these guys looked up. Like that. I can't tell who's who anymore. Everybody's got 30-inch thighs. Everybody's got this fucking 40-inch ripped waist. They're all fucking, almost 300 pounds shredded. Yep. They look like the California raisin. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just like, after a while, you're like, what the fuck? Who's that? Who the hell is that? And it's some new guy, Shamouk Shvan. You know what I mean? Comes from where's he from? Oh, he's from Kuwait. And 2 years ago, he was like some skinny motherfucker. Now he's walking around, all fucking. Jacked and shit. It's just forget about it. I don't know. It's killed the sport.
Yeah,
Dave, have you ever met
all those guys are the second coming of Hadi Chopin, apparently.
Yeah. Hadi Chopin. I mean, but there's a guy with no person. These guys don't have any personality. I had this shit down the hole. When he lost, they can't take the loss. You know what I mean? Dude, come on. You know what I mean? Give it a break.
Victor Martinez, Dave?
That's my boy.
Yeah. So Victor was actually coming to our gym for a while. And I know he's been trying to get us hooked up with some of his Panada gear, right? Mm-hmm. His equipment.
Oh, he has equipment out. I didn't know he had.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his. I don't know if it's his only, but he's involved with it. It's called Panada. Some of the pieces are pretty cool. So I know he was talking to our ownership about trying to get us a couple of his pieces in. Victor's
my boy, bro. He's a genetic freak. He could stand there and just crawl on talk to you like this and crawl on a curl, like on a fucking cable curl, and just goes up.
He still look great. I mean, I haven't seen him in a while. I don't think he doesn't come to our gym anymore. But
he's another one.
He was cool when he was there.
Love of the game. He trains for the love of the game. Victor Martinez will look good until the day he passes, because he loves the game. Victor Martinez he's a great ambassador for the sport. Same thing with Kevin Levrone, though. They really love this shit. They have the passion for it.
Mm-hmm. Dave, the gym that you work at in Englewood, that you run the staff, how is that gym compared to some of the other gyms? They have good equipment, and how is it? A little bit different. Yeah, I've never been there.
It's gorgeous. It's high end. I mean, it's it's like $179 a month. Full towel service, beautiful locker room. Everything's all the floors been redone in marble.
$170 a month, you said?
Yep.
Now that's what do you get with that? I mean,
everything.
You get a blowjob?
What don't you get?
Yeah, but you know what? Let me tell you guys something out there. You're better off spending a little bit more scuttle, right, to have what you want, than go to spend the $10 and go to, that Lunk Alarm place there, Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness,
they just herd people in like cattle. You got to wait 20 minutes for a treadmill. You got some woman in front of you that's fucking like, oh my God, like you're using that, you drop the dumbbell and the Lunk Alarm goes off, and you're constantly being told, don't do this, don't do that. I'd rather spend extra for a place that I enjoy going to, that's got good equipment, and for atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? That's what it boils down to. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it hardcore, Dave?
We just redid everything. All the equipment's brand new. All the top of the line, Life Fitness, Hammer Strength, all the treadmills are brand new, all the newest, most technologically advanced Life Fitness stuff we got. A little crazy, but spending money.
But Dave, did I hear Joe right? Do you have your own supplement company yourself or no?
No, so RPM Nutrition was just what my nutrition coaching, and we had a kitchen because we did do meal prep. We were a meal prep company for like maybe 3 or 4 years. And like I said, right when COVID hit and everything got shut down, we had no idea. Right, everything's supposed to be closed for 2 weeks. So I was like, I don't know if I can keep paying. We had kitchen employees, a delivery girl. I'm like, I don't know what I can do. So we're just going to shut it down.
So but you don't have a supplement company. You just were doing that, right?
No.
Now you still do that?
At that time, it was just food, and now it's just if I do anything privately with people, it's either just their training programming or the nutrition programming.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And you're running out of the gym in Englewood.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, let me ask you a question. How in God's name do you balance playing the guitar and trying to cut out like albums and making songs, and at the same time having to like train people and do it? Because that's a lot of work right there mentally. I'm talking about mentally. The people who've never played an instrument or wrote a song, they don't understand. And then you got to figure out you're babysitting everybody else. I don't understand. I'm not feeling it in my chest. Yeah. Okay, come over here. You know what I mean? So how do you balance that mentally?
Well, I've got a pretty good schedule. So I see anywhere from 25 to 30 sessions a week, which is pretty good. But everyone I have is a professional. They're either an attorney, they have their own business, or whatever. Like my schedule is full of high-level professionals. So my schedule is every Monday is the same. Every Tuesday is the same. So I try to do my own thing at 5 a.m. I'll train myself from like 5 to 6. And then usually by 6, I'm with people from like 6 to 11, 12, 1 or 2, whatever. And then when I leave, I'm done. I'm unplugged from the gym. I come home, take care of the dog, do whatever else I need to do. If I got to look over client stuff for the next day, I'll do that. And if I get in writing mode, and if I just start putting a song together, then it's like I just kind of get lost in front of the computer. I got my amp right here, and I just open up Pro Tools and just kind of go to work.
I respect that, because I'm going to be honest with you. Some of these guys, it's like if you talk to guys that were, or their wives, that their wives are not into the fitness and they're married to a bodybuilder or with the bodybuilder, they revolve, their whole life has to revolve around his moods and him training, because they take that shit home like, I've got to eat, it's been 2 hours, where's the chicken and the broccoli, you know what I'm saying? You could turn that shit off and go right on to playing your guitar or maybe creating, because it's one thing to play guitar, it's another thing to create, you know what I'm saying?
I do notice there's definitely times when I'm like, I need to write a song, because I'm just like, oh, there's something, I got like some heavy stuff, and then by the time the song is out and done, I'm like, so much better.
Do you ever get like an idea for a song, and maybe you're at the gym and all of a sudden something fucking hits you and you're like, holy fuck, hold on for a second. You run into maybe like, do a little riff in your fucking, in your phone, like record some if I only knew. Okay. And that's it,
All the time. If you look through my little voice notes in my phone, they're all stupid little titles. And sometimes it's just me with the guitar unplugged, because I just had a guitar, no amp, and I'll just play it real loud so I can hear it and I don't forget it. But I do that all the time.
Oh, I was going to say, because if you don't do that, sometimes you think of something, you know what I mean? Like even when I used to write The Rambling Freak, I'd remember something like, if I didn't write it down or record something, I would forget, I forgot so many stories that people have to remind me. And then I'm like, holy shit, I forgot about that. Like, I've been on a ton of TV shows. I don't even remember. Like, Joe and I talk about that. I go through my old shit. I'm like, holy shit, that's right. I was on that TV show. I forget, you know what I mean? Because I'm with that.
Dave, when do you work out? When do you train yourself?
5 a.m.
5 a.m. every day?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, I can't get up. I mean, you go to bed about that time, I think.
I text Joe. Joe was over my house the other day. Joe came over my house with his excellent girl, Morella, who I love dearly. And she makes the best, by the way, she makes the best cookies. That girl should start making them cookies and selling them. But let's hear the there. He came over my house and, he left. And then I called him, 8 in the morning? I texted 8 or 9 in the morning, and I was still awake.
At work or something. You're like, hey.
That's because people, I'm out there, we're fixing, me and my girlfriend, we sell bullshit, so we're out there fixing the bullshit, Anyway, I don't sleep a lot. I'm nuts.
Yeah.
I don't. I wish that's one thing I wish was a little different. My sleep is not great. It's never been. I'll go to sleep 9, 10, 11. I'll be asleep for maybe an hour, hour and a half, and I'm up. And I'm like, oh, great. Now what?
Yeah.
And sometimes I fall back to sleep, and sometimes I don't. But when the alarm goes off, I'm up, and I kind of get through the day.
It's the creative mind. It's the mind. Sometimes you could be exhausted laying in bed like this, but if your brain is going like this, and you're thinking shit,
Yeah, I could have nothing heavy's going on. Everything's great, and I'm just like, what's going on tomorrow?
You can't shut your brain off, though. You know what I mean? That's my problem.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good. How's your diet? Are you watch your diet or no?
Yeah, right now it's pretty good, only because we're going away to Wildwood next week, so I'm trying to be at least somewhat halfway presentable. But for the most part, it's always pretty good. It's pretty healthy most of the time, and then my girl, she likes to eat burgers and pizza all the time. So
nice.
So we'll go.
You're
out
always in good shape. You're always in
Anthony D. What's going on?
Yeah, I always try to stay within a few pounds of anything. So,
What do you weigh now?
I'm cutting down, so I'm like 175.
Ben Garcia.
Yeah.
That's not bad. What are you, Greg?
How old are you? What's that?
How much you weigh now, Greg?
I gained, since Alabama, I gained like 10 pounds because remember, Alabama was only a couple weeks off of not working out. Lived in 2 weeks in a goddamn fucking hospital. So I hadn't trained, hadn't done anything. Only had one workout. So I gained back about 10 pounds. I'd say I'm 184.
Okay.
I'm normally 195, 196,
Yeah. And how old are you now, Dave? I forgot how old. You're probably what, 47, 6?
45.
45. You still look young.
Yep. That's what everyone says. It's like, oh my God, you look 10 years younger than I do, and I'm younger than you already.
Yeah. And how's your sister, by the way?
Yeah, it's good. I got 3 nephews.
Oh.
They're 2, 6, and 10.
Wow.
Unfortunately, my brother-in-law, her husband, he passed away last year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. He had just finished running an Ironman. And he was a former Marine. Like he did Ironmans, half Ironmans, marathons, half marathons, and he had a blockage that just went undetected. And when he was coming, home from one of the races, he called her like he always calls her after the races, and he's like, I don't feel so good. I feel like I'm having a heart attack. So she told him to pull over, call 911, and he did. And then when the cops got there, because when I got to the hospital, I asked the nurses what happened, and they said that the first responders got there. Greg was able to get out of the truck. They started talking to him, and then he collapsed, and that was it.
Wow. Oh,
wow.
So she's been living with mom and dad since then. And the house is busy. The house is a little bit crazy with mom, dad, Kathy, and the 3 boys. But it's been.
When was it he passed? How long ago?
June of last year.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, thank you. So it's been I miss Greg. I loved him. I still love him. I have a bunch of his pictures up all over the place, and just got to do stuff for the boys when I can. I got my oldest nephew a guitar a couple weeks ago because he kept asking me to teach him something. So I'm like, I was like, Kathy, I'm just gonna buy it for him, and it'll be cool to see him next week on the family vacation.
Wow.
But all things considered, she's doing pretty good. She's doing pretty good.
How old is your oldest nephew, the one you bought the guitar? How old is he?
10, just turned 10 in June.
The poor kid.
Yeah.
That's not crazy. But what do you got coming up? You want to plug anything you got? I mean, I want to go to the gym where you are in Englewood and kind of work out one day.
You are welcome anytime. Get this nutcase out there too. It's totally fine.
Come on, Valentino. You come in. We got to do that Delt video for everybody.
Now that I got director status, I got a little bit of juice. I'll just let you all in.
A little bit of juice, exactly.
Just everything's great. If anyone wants, like you said, some of the links will be in the description. We'll put
the link down there. Yes, I will.
The band page and maybe some the Apple Music or Spotify links. Yep. Just keep if anyone starts saving the stuff on Spotify, just we put songs out every once in a while, and then I want to start getting some more shows going.
Yep, you'll be in Bergenfield and Tommy Fox's, correct?
Yep. And then the gym is actually going to have like a grand reopening party, like a block party. September 15th is a Sunday, so We'll be playing.
You know,
at that
maybe
also.
I'll come. Maybe I'll come and see if I can get over there.
Yeah. I'll
Send me
text
a.
you.
I mean, we'll talk after this, you know, and everything.
Yeah.
You know, but it's been. I mean, it's been great actually reconnecting with you. I know everything happens, but then we got back together, so it's great to see you. You know, you're totally awesome, talented. I hope you go farther with the band and do what you got to do. You know, you've been one of my dearest friends for a long time. I love you. Glad I see you again.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna have to. I'll have to talk to you when you go to the next con, because one of my clients, he used to be a big time agent in Hollywood, and now since COVID, he actually just staffs all the cons. Like
what's his name?
His name is Steve Himber.
Oh, okay.
His company's called Himber Entertainment, but he just came back from London, 2 shows in London a couple weeks ago, where he got Jason Momoa out there.
Wow.
He does a lot of stuff with the Doctor Who guys.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be at Chicago, the Chicago Expo this week. He's going to try to get me some autograph from Lance Henriksen. I like him from Millennium.
Yeah.
So,
Tom Unger, who runs Big Event New York, is a friend of mine. So he gives me access to all those, and I get in there. It's really great. And I get to see all those guys and everything. So it's really good. But next time, definitely, we got to hook up for the con.
Yeah, because Steve was able to get me tickets to Comic-Con last year, so I'm hoping I'll get Comic-Con tickets this year again.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm going to try to get in as a press, but I don't know if they'll let me in.
Okay.
I applied it, but I don't know if I got in yet.
All right.
Dave, it's always great to see you.
Hey, man.
Dave, awesome job. Awesome job, Dave.
Awesome job, Dave. Again, we'll talk later. Greg, my brother, I love you.
Thanks, man.
Good to finally meet you. I've seen your face for the last 25 years, probably.
Oh, man, I'm ugly, though. I must hurt your eyes.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, the picture's real small on the screen, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, remember the arms?
Up to you, man.
That was the member. He's all over the place. He's all over the screen, Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, brother. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later, man.
I love all you guys. Even you fucking haters.
Chat.
Fucking shit.
All right, brother.
Good night, guys.
Bye, Dave.